everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and we are used to being propagated. Canada, of course, has the CBC, which is state-run media, and it pushes forward the government's narrative. Now, as the National Post reports, Liberal government has spent upwards of $13.7 million on sponsored Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram posts. Now, before digging into the article, it's important to mention that this hasn't just been done by the Liberal government, but between 2006 to 2014, the so-called Conservative government spent $5.8 million on Facebook ads as well. But it's interesting that the Trudeau government has spent nearly 14 million taxpayer dollars to propagandize the public using what some call private companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, while these companies have been subsidized with billions, much like Google as well, by governments throughout the world via the hand of the theft of the populace. Let's not forget the other useless nonsense our money has been stolen in order to pay for, like massive donations to the Clinton Foundation, a giant rubber duck, art grants for so-called artists making used tampon statues, funding other governments and infrastructure throughout the world, Saudi Arabia, luxury cars for politicians including Climate Barbie Environment Minister Catherine McKenna, and the list goes on and on. As the article says, the Canadian government has spent at least $13.7 million on sponsored social media posts since the Liberals took office, part of an ongoing shift away from the traditional advertising. Documents tabled in the House of Commons show departments and agencies' use of paid promotion on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram has ramped up considerably in the past couple of years. These are new dynamic ways to reach Canadians, according to Transport Canada, and the most cost-effective, says the Canadian Food Inspection Agency in the government's response to a question from Conservative MP Blake Richards. Amounts listed in the documents cover expenses between November 2015, shortly after Justin Trudeau's Liberals formed their government, and May 2017. Most departments and agencies that spent money on sponsored social media posts used Facebook, about 60 of them, while just under 50 used Twitter and half that number used Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. Destination Canada, a crown corporation that encourages tourism to Canada, spent the most, with $4.3 million worth of posts targeted at travelers from specific countries, including the US. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada spent another $1.5 million, with the bulk of that going toward raising public awareness of a new Electronic Travel Authorization requirement for visa-exempt travelers to Canada. The other federal bodies that spend more than $500,000 are Veterans Affairs Canada at $867,100, Heritage Canada at $829,500, Health Canada at $762,700, Export Development Canada at $608,500, National Defense at $546,300, and Statistics Canada at $503,700. The government targets social media users with a wide variety of messages, including federal programs and recruitment efforts. The Privy Council office spent a full $245,000, for example, on promoting a consultation on an electoral reform policy the Liberals eventually decided not to pursue, the online portion of which was met with criticism over possible privacy breaches. Heritage pushed Canada 150 events this year, while Health Canada has focused on cannabis education, tobacco cessation, opioid addiction, and other topics. Public Safety tweeted about flood readiness, and Transport shared posts about drones on Instagram. The Fisheries Department sponsored quite a few posts about the beauty of Canada's coastlines, while the National Capital Commission urged people to check out the fall colors at Quebec's Gatineau Park near Ottawa. Smaller government-funded entities such as Canada's National Museums use social media to encourage visits to exhibits or special events such as Bacon Palooza, kids pizza making, an ice cream festival, and sheep shearing at Canada's Science and Technology Museum. In one case, Parks Canada promoted a whiskey tasting. Canada Post and the Royal Canadian Mint said amounts spent on social media count as commercially sensitive information, so didn't share how much they doled out to Facebook and Twitter. Richard said the more than 1,500-page response to his question raises concerns about how much oversight the government puts on its advertising activities. He noted the Liberals promised during the 2015 election campaign to instate an advertising commission to scrutinize government ads, and questioned the government's promising openness and transparency when no commission has been put in place. Let's not forget how much this government loves propaganda. The press are forced to ask only questions Trudeau wants to be asked and has pre-written answers for, as I found out myself when I asked him about his crippling carbon tax in March, only to be forced out of the room. 45 media organizations, including the state-run media, then copied and pasted the same misleading article without a single one of the reporters actually reaching out to me, instead resorting to smearing me and making false allegations, like saying that I swore at Trudeau in front of a bunch of children when there were no children anywhere near. The media is completely controlled, and people are going to social media to resist mainstream media, so while the state and corporate media panics, millions of taxpayer dollars are pumped into propagandizing people there. Let's keep in mind that this is the same government taxing small businesses more while claiming small businesses are just shells for people to hide their money from the state. Before this extra extortion, an average of 50% of small businesses actually succeed in the first year in Canada. The poor are getting poorer as the state ramps up socialist policy. Freedom of speech is muzzled by legislation like M103 and Bill C-16, which can land you in prison for assuming someone's gender or criticizing Islam. Bubbles are growing due to state manipulation. The dollar is crashing due to central banker manipulation based in debt and inflation, by decree teamed with legal tender laws. The middle class is being decimated, the poor are being decimated, and the rich are being crushed as well. In a socialist country, politicians live in palaces as the populace is forced into the gutters. More evils of collectivism as the state monopolizes massive corporations while pretending to go after them for the sake of the poor. What a joke. Well, despite all this propaganda, like usual, the government is inefficient even in their propagation, because people are fed up and not buying it. The vast majority of people in Canada see Trudeau for the scumbag that he is. Oh, did I mention taxation is theft? Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Now to sound like an auctioneer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube as they bring in the Anti-Defamation League to flag all of our content as hate speech. Also check our Bitcoin address in the description in the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to check me out at Josh Sigurdson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid via cryptocurrency, Steem that is, by the upvote and demand of your post. It's bound to take out the dinosaur social media, so I hope to see you there. But until next time, check out this word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to exchange a large amount of US dollars? Don't overpay with the bank on currency exchange. Think outside the bank. Banks charge unnecessary fees of up to 3%. Truth be told, currency exchange with the bank will cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars. Start saving now. Step 1. Register online. Visit our website and click Get Started. Step 2. Book a transaction. Phone us for a quote and to complete the transaction. We'll need to know which currencies you are converting and how much. Step 3. Transfer of funds. Once you confirm the transaction, we initiate an electronic funds transfer from the account that you choose. Your purchased funds are then transferred back to you in the account that you choose within 1 business day. It's that easy. Start saving hundreds of dollars on currency exchange with CBCE. Sign up online or give us a call today.